Having shot onto our screens as part of the main cast of the famed South African favorite soapie, Generations The Legacy, as Namhla Diale, 22-year-old Thuli Phongolo has always had a love for acting. She's born, raised right here in Soweto, and Thuli has already seen a career that has propelled her into the hearts of many soapie fans. And she joins us on the show to discuss her road into acting and television presenting industry, as well as the future career prospects and what she's working on. Pleasure to have you with us,
Thank
Thuli.
you for having me.
And we appreciate that you made the time. Not everyone gets to appear on Generations, right?
Yes.
We're a country of 55 million people. Now, every time you appear there, you must know that there are at least 26 million people who wish they could be there. Must be a scary thought, isn't it?
Wow, reality check.
Exactly.
I just got a reality check,
Exactly.
yes.
But it's never crossed your mind that?
It has, but like not that intensely. And hearing it from someone is different from when you're just thinking it. Because with us, most of the time you find that we don't even realize the impact the show has because it's all about work and shooting and sticking to schedule.
Yeah.
And it's only after you go outside, and especially if you go outside like the small cities, that you realize that, oh my gosh,
Yes.
I'm actually touching a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, I know that when you do stuff like this, like the work you do, everybody adores you, appreciates the work, and they follow, and every night they want to see what's going on. But somewhere, and which many people who do the kind of work would forget, somewhere somebody wishes, oh, I wish I could be part
Definitely.
of that cast.
Definitely.
But how did you crack it yourself to be part of the big setup of Generations?
With Generation, it's actually a story and a half, but I'll cut it very short.
Yeah.
I was meant to be on the first Generation. I was auditioned on the first Generation as Jason's sister. And I shot with them, and I was meant to show on the 2nd of October. So before I could show, they cut the show. And then they called me back and they were like, okay, come audition for the same name role, but different role and different family. And then I auditioned for Namhla 5 times after then, and 5 times. Because
Really?
they wanted me to be Angela, and then they were not sure about me being Angela, and then they took me back to Namhla, and that's how I got the role. And
Well, the key thing somebody observed is to pitch up.
yes.
Because they called you 5 times.
Yes.
Who knows, they might not have trusted that you will
And
come
believe me, there were
anyway.
times where I was like, they must just decide what they want.
Yes.
Maybe it's not me that they want. How can they be calling me so many times and they've already seen my potential? But, you know, perseverance and being patient helped me a lot.
I suspect they were looking for attitude as
Yes.
well, to see whether you are committed or not. But would you describe yourself as somebody with the perseverance, the patience?
Oh, yes,
Who has that?
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Especially when it comes to things that I know I've got potential for and I really want. I won't stop going for those things, and I won't stop being patient, knowing and believing that I can get those things for myself.
You're relatively young, and to already have breaks of this nature, you needed to build the stamina for that, right?
Yes.
Was it something that you always had, or you discovered not so long ago that, hey, I need to support myself with perseverance and patience? After all, you've had some achievements, previously, which we'll talk about in a moment.
Yes. For me, because acting has always been my dream. It's always something that I've always wanted to do. And I always joke around and say, when I was growing up, like, I never had this thing when I grow up. I wanted to be something now, to a point where even my dad and my mom were like, no, finish school and then you'll go for your dreams later. But I knew I wanted to be an actress, and I wanted to go to it now. So when I was 15 and I got an agency, I knew what I wanted to do. So I've always had those qualities within me. And I think it's really good to find something that shakes you, that makes you think different, and that gives you that fire to want to go for something, no matter what age you are, no matter what circumstance you're for, and no matter what sets you back.
But some older people,
Yes.
right, and need setbacks to get going.
Yes.
I don't know if you've experienced any, that would light the fire in the belly to say, hey, don't sit back, don't sit on your laurels. You've got to go out there and make it happen.
Yes.
Ever had that experience yet?
You know what? Surprisingly, when I was younger, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I knew exactly what I wanted to go for. And being outside the industry, I thought it was just... if you could ask me from an outside perspective, before getting in an industry, I knew exactly the things that I want. And in being in the industry and getting to learn the industry and getting to grow up and feel different about different careers and your position in your career, it's less now that I know what I want, to be quite honest. And that's a setback for me because sometimes I'm like, I go to work, yes, but sometimes the passion that I had before for just getting in, like into the sets, it's no longer there. It's mainly about work, 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 and that's what I always prove to like remain in touch with, the passion.
But the role some close people, relatives, family, parents played in building that strength, because obviously now, not only, you see, you're talking about passion. Now there's something called the work ethic, right?
Yes.
Which, in a way, you've got to focus on work. And
yes.
passion will come when it comes. Did they play any role in making you aware and building that?
Oh, yes, definitely. I've always known that you have to work for for everything, even if you love it. And what people don't really understand, that's why maybe a lot of people think it's really easy, is that you go in there and it's not just you acting, you like just going and doing what you want, but it's you understanding the technicalities of the work as well.
That you've got
the
to play,
character,
the lines you've got to memorize.
Yes, the fact that the cameraman also plays a role in what you're doing, sound and
so many
production
takes.
and so many things.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to work and not just work for yourself, but as a team, you won't flow as much as you
You
can.
know what? When we talk about these things, mostly we talk about the nice stuff.
Yes,
we
definitely.
talk about the great stuff, which everybody appreciates when they watch it. But there are off days, most definitely, which can probably reduce you to tears. Have you cried on set? You know, due to frustrations, not remembering your lines, not being able to pull it off?
I haven't cried, but I've gotten really, really frustrated. English. And you know what? When you start off, you're like, oh, you know, I just need to do well. I can't be acting next to Manaka, and then I'm doing all these things. But you know what? Everyone has their days. Even it happens to the best of the best. But it's always good to come prepared. And even when you get that setback of not knowing your lines, rather be honest than waste time. That's what I believe.
Yes.
If you don't know your lines, rather say, I don't know my lines, can we skip and go to another scene? Which is not the most amazing thing to do, but at least be honest enough to save everyone's time and also save yourself from getting into more trouble than you could.
But here's another thing, right? Now you work alongside established stars.
Yes.
You're relatively new to the game, and it must be a daunting thing, I suppose. Or it was. Now you're part of the setup, I suppose, right? But within that short period of time, you've got to develop your own personality and then become this determined young woman who's going somewhere. You're going to have to be more than Namhla, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I've got plans to be more than just Namhla. And with me, it's a fight that I've fought from the beginning. That's why if you go to my social media, you will realize that I'm way different than who Namhla is, even if you see me in person. And it's not a coincidence that I've laid it out like that, and I've gotten to show people a side of me that, you know, they wouldn't even see from Namhla. It's by plan, because I'm trying to build a brand beyond being Namhla, because after generations, then what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What about the other potentials that I have? What about the other...
What potentials are you working on now? That side. I haven't visited your social media, you see, to establish them.
Oh, well, that's bad. That's bad. You should do your research.
Well, I've got people doing it for me, you see, you tell me, because there's certain things you might not want to see there. And I know some of you post stuff there that maybe is not good. There's an age restriction or something like that, you see.
Oh,
so
no.
please.
No.
I've got an excuse here.
No, bad excuse. Always be prepared. With me, I'm very business-minded. And I always say the media industry and entertainment industry is my passion, but business is my interest. And I want to not only be a face that came and entertain us and all of a sudden we forgot about her. I want to build a powerhouse. And being in that state, I'm going to start my own business. I want to go further with that. And also venturing into other avenues within the industry. Next year, I'm hoping to get into radio. And I just got an endorsement now with Kantu. Hair products. Oh, English just runs away sometimes. hair products and stuff. So that, and maybe going back to presenting, because I was a presenter before.
Yes.
So it's not that I have not been planning for these things and I'm not taking, directions and ways that will lead me to them. It's because also last year mainly was school for me. I really wanted to graduate, and it's always been like that. It has always been school and work, school and work. And now, this year, I'm finding myself and seeing, okay, this is where I want to place myself in the media industry. And then from then onwards, you know, from what I've learned this year, next year is going to be a good year.
You come and tell us.
Next year is going to be a good year.
2017, I'm going to start right there and say, you said
Yes.
2017 is going to be a good. How's the good year going so far?
Oh, listen, I'm
That's
going
how
to
we're
be a
going to
living
start.
testimony.
We're going to start right there and say, how is the good year going so
Yeah.
far? Everything of the best to you.
Thank you so much.
And we appreciate your time here on the show. We appreciate and everything of the best. Thuli.
Thank you.
There you go. Very confident young woman, relatively new in the entertainment industry, but already becoming an established star with big dreams. Next year, she says, is going to be a good year. What about you? Is it going to be a great year? We trust you enjoyed tonight's show and the interview, and we invite you to join us again next time. And next year is going to be a good year, you said.
Oh, definitely.
Good night.